Hello, this is why you should let your plants go to seed. By letting your plants go to seed, you start to become self-sufficient, and you're no longer reliant on purchasing them every year. Otherwise, you may find buying the vegetables or fruit, even directly from the supermarket, is going to be cheaper than buying the seeds and actually spending a lot of time nurturing them and growing them. Currently in the background, you can see the sage has gone to seed. After a beautiful display of purple flowers a few weeks ago, it's now dried up. These will be perfect to start expanding the herb garden with. You can see the purple flowers and the bees it attracts in my channel intro video. Parsley is another great herb for the garden. It can normally be harvested all year round and can be grown along paths to create a little hedgerow. It's a perfect herb for so many dishes as well. Chives are part of the onion family and produce these gorgeous purple flower displays in June, which are edible and are great on salads. If you can refrain from eating all the flowers, you'll have an abundance of chives every year with the amount of seeds each head produces. Carrots are one of those root veg I always lose one or two to bolting. This isn't too much of an issue though, as it adds a splash of interest to the vegetable patch and provides more seeds for next year. You just need to let it flower and start to die back, at which point cut the flower head off and hang it upside down to dry. You'll notice little brown slivers start to drop over time. These are the seeds. Peas aren't so much a plant you should let go to seed, but rather that's what you want to happen anyway. You eat the seeds from the pods. Just make sure to save some by letting them dry out in the sun for next year's peas plants. These leeks have been in the ground for a full year. I've done this to produce seeds for next year. When onions and leeks bolt, they'll form a solid and rigid central tube, which will create a similar flower head to chives. Once flowered, the heads will contain little black seeds, similar in size to poppy seeds. To collect the seeds, what you want to do is hang the plant upside down and let it dry for a week or two. And then, once dry, you want to rub the flower head between your fingers. This should release the little black seeds. Make sure to put a bit of parchment paper down underneath to collect them. This rainbow chard we planted late summer last year and forgot about it entirely, to find it didn't die down in winter, and now it's shot up full of seeds this year. I plan on making better use of this plant next year once I've harvested these seeds. Rhubarb. I had quite a few people tell me I should cut off the rhubarb flower head as soon as it popped up, otherwise this was going to prevent a decent supply of rhubarb stalks next year. I'm lucky in the sense I've got 6 healthy rhubarb plants, and so letting one plant go to seed and possibly cause a smaller yield off one plant isn't going to be a big issue at all. As you can see here, once the flower head has died back, these seeds are formed. By God, there's a lot of them. I cut the stem of the flower and then held it upside down and roughly ran my fingers through the seeds, knocking them from the dried up flower. I was left with 2 full seed trays full of rhubarb seeds. I plan on growing these later in the year or early next year, and either using them elsewhere in the garden or potentially selling some plants on. I've left them to dry in the sun for a week, which has caused them to turn brown. This will hopefully prevent them from rotting. This lettuce has had its time in the sun and has now gone to seed. I plan on harvesting these few plants left for seeds for more free lettuce next year. I didn't plan on letting this broccoli go to seed, but due to some rather annoying aphids, the broccoli heads were left ruined. Fortunately, the plants have gone to seed, so I'm hoping for better fortunes next year with my broccoli.
This is actually a cucumber, which is essentially just aging, and that's going to be full of seeds. It's just going to get fatter and fatter, a bit like a squash really. So I'm going to wait a little while longer on this and then collect the seeds. Storage wise, jars with holes drilled into the top, perfect, because you don't want them to trap moisture and you want them to sort of dry out. But runner beans, sweet corn, pumpkin, onion, red onion from last year, still okay, and sunflowers.
Thank you for watching my video. Just a quick rundown of why you should let some of your plants go to seed, or inevitably why some plants do go to seed and what you should do about it. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.